We're going to analyze two of the greatest gliders ever, or at least arguably, and we're going to start right now. Okay, we're looking at two gliders, John Brenner, Ulf Timmermann. One's an American, one's an East German. We're going to analyze the glide. We're going to look at the things in each position out of the back when they drop, when they drive, when they're in the air, when the right foot hits, when the left foot hits, and when they finish. We're going to look at it. We're going to compare. We're going to analyze each one, John first, and then we're going to get into Timmermann. We're going to analyze it. We're going to take some notes. We're going to write those notes down, and then we're going to compare them together and how we can use and learn from this, okay? So the big thing here that I want to start off with, here's John Brenner. We got a 2175. He was a shot putter back in the day at UCLA, okay? So we see he's got a very crouch start position, right? So on the drop, he's got a good flexed knee, flexed hip, left leg we can see come in, and you can see right there like the left big toe is almost in line with his right heel, okay? And we start to see right here, it's almost like everything starts to slide like that, okay, right along that position. And I will say his chest comes up, and I've always felt that was interesting, that his chest would come up almost directly in line with when he would be extending. And it's like super noticeable with him. But the interesting part was always, one, how long he would hold the right flex knee. And two, almost like super neutral with that left shoulder coming back. I always felt like that was interesting. And like, sometimes in some of his throws, I would feel like he would have this little up and down from the hips, but everything had happened so quickly. And you see here with that right knee, right now he's extended. So this is where I want you to watch that right. I'm going to actually switch this on my camera and see if this helps. Watch that right foot. Boom. Okay. So we can see from the heel out of the back, from the heel right there. Whoops. Right here. And then what happens, boom, right almost exactly at the middle portion of the circle. And then we can see that left come down and hit. So what I want to see is out of the back, are we making sure that we're square with the left shoulder? We're square with the shoulders. Are we dropping through the middle of the foot? I've always felt like it's like getting the belly button almost through the midfoot or to the heel. And then slowly, as this left is starting to extend, now you can see we're at 90 degrees, and then that's when we drop the heel. So that's like some real key concepts that I think with that low left leg leads to a super fast right. Now, what I also want to point out is this shin is almost the same angle the whole time, and his knees here, his foot stays slightly below his knee. Okay, you can see the foot's there, knees right there. Now, when he drives, that right is super fast. And if we come back out, the left is about to ground right here. His shoulder's staying back past his right knee. And it's almost like as he grounds, you can see he does lose a little tension in the ankle. So loses that ankle stiffness. If only he had Instagram back in 1978 or 1980 to help him learn about ankle stiffness. Then we see here when his left foot grounds, his left shoulder's here, his left hand is here. He's stacked over that right knee, right quad. Okay. He starts to open. And I want to just say here, like, that's bent, forward. It's like he really enables, watch that right knee just sort of rotate through. And then right here, he gets forward. And then at the very last second, as he's finishing, he's still grounded in this position. Shots right here. Now, this is when he extends that left and he comes forward from the right into, boom, into that heel on the board. Okay, so I wanted to look at that one. Now, let's see if we can go back, and I want to analyze another one of Brenner's, another classic throw. We maybe even did this like 10 years ago. I've watched these throws so many times. Now, this is where, again, you can really see he's super crouched down, left shoulder's back, tremendous amount of knee flexion there, and everything starts to come down. And we can see here how he just sort of waits. He's just waiting. And the left foot hasn't exited. He's not thinking about exiting yet. And I think that that's like one thing is like, yes, he's pulling the trigger right here with the left, but he's already rocking backwards, right? He's already going there. And then he just brings this up a little bit. And then we see from that left shoulder, from the delt right here, all the way through the foot, super lengthened position that is reaching for the toe board, holding the left shoulders back, super exaggerated, and then extending from the right knee. And then that creates a very fast right here, and we're here, and this staying back over the right leg. Okay, so now he's here, and when that left's down, left shoulder's back here, shots back behind the right knee, right toe, pretty deep, I would say. And then you can see here, he sort of opens here. Now the shot's right in his hand, right there. And we'll see he's starting to come up off of that left, right there. He's off the left. So on this throw, actually, I would argue is not nearly as good as the previous throw, in the sense that he never really gets into the board on that throw compared to the other throw. This might even be his PR, if I remember correctly. I feel like this was his 22-20. It's just he, technique-wise, was not into the board as much. Yeah, it's like sort of strange how he's not getting forward. I remember, what was that meet? Maybe it was a meet in with him and Oldfield, Michael Carter, and Dave Lout. I feel like that's when he had real dialed in technique. And I love his technique, honestly. I think his low left foot, and I want to go through this. He drops really patiently, and he keeps that left shoulder very, very, very neutral. He immediately starts to rock in with his glutes, He waits to pull the trigger from the left side, and it's almost like when he's doing that, he lengthens his left shoulder, and he gets this big, long extension from the left arm through into that left leg, left foot. Left foot stays below the knee. The right leg's super fast and low to the concrete. Then when the right grounds, he starts to open, but he catches with the weight over top of that right really, really well. And then that leads into that finish. Okay, so I think that's like a nice way to really think through. Boom. Right here. And if you see right there, that's where we see that foot below the knee here. Comes down, opens, forward. It's just weird on that finish. Okay, so we got Brenner's technique, right? We're looking at that. Now, this is probably my favorite glide of all time. Here we're going to see the 2306, if I remember correctly. Now, the difference that I have always seen here is I've always felt that Timmermann would purposely stay on the ball of the forefoot, okay, up on the ball of his foot, super hanging out with that shot outside the circle. You'd always hear the guys say, I always felt like I would say this when I wanted kids to believe in me more. I'd be like, look, you want to take a 7-foot circle and make it an 8-foot circle. And he'd say that like, and the kids, yeah, that's what we got to do. And then when you push, now you're adding another 1.5 foot. So now we're adding it and we're turning into a 9.5-foot circle. And I would always say that. And maybe there's some truth to it. I want to point that out is like, you can sort of see now, quality of footage is not like today, but I want you to just pay attention to that point. Okay, look at his right heel. And that's where I want you to really think through is I've always felt like even here, his left knee is almost past center circle and his left heel is not entirely down. His left heel doesn't even get fully down until he's about right at this point. Left foot is below the left knee. So what do you have to do? If you're watching these two guys, you're going, okay, if I want to glide, when I come out of the back, I got to drop. I got to let my hips go. Then I lengthen my left leg, but I can't bend my left knee. Don't bend your left knee when you're gliding. Next thing, what's he coming off of? Okay. What do we see? Toe is up. Toe up. Toe up. Am I coming off of my heel and my toe is up? Is my left foot below my left knee? Big ones. Big ones. Big thoughts right there that we got to have. Shoulders. Shoulders are staying back. And I just want to point out right here, because let's watch that. Let's watch the speed. How well he stays patient over this. Right comes down. Boom. Shoulders back. Look at that left arm is past his right quad. Now he's going to get that left down, and he starts to open and shift forward. Okay, he's shifting forward. And he's almost reversing on the right side of the circle right there. Okay, it's almost like right side of the circle. Boom. If we go back and we look at this, he's going to drop. Drop. Left foot stays low. Comes off the heel. Low right heel. Boom. Plants the right. Left shoulder's back. Opens. Shifts into the left. Okay, so you got a bent left there. Flat foot that he's shifting into. And then he comes forward on the finish. Okay, so pretty clear, in my opinion at least, pretty clear technical execution. And now we're going to be able to see it again. And I think that this is the other thing. If we start hanging out, or we start even more like Brenner, over the back foot, right? And then what do we see here? Left shoulder shot. Now let's watch this. Look at how long he keeps his right foot like flat. And that could be a thing that I think we've done this with Lucas, who's thrown 20 meters with the glide, is I actually tell him to stay on the toe as long as he can, and that his heel shouldn't drop until he's at the midway point with his left knee. And then looking at this, it's like, how long can you hold a flat right? Because I think that enables a longer or more advanced stretch shortening cycle. So your right foot is faster here. It has less time then for your left shoulder to open. Your left foot comes down and it's plant, go. Shoulder, 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 plant, boom, forward. And this one you can really see how he would reverse to that right side. I think that's the one thing I've always struggled with people who do like a spin reverse, even to the left side if they do a glide reverse. And I would call this to me is a glide reverse. This is the glide reverse. This is the stick it into the toe board, hang on to that, push back, and come back into the circle, save the meet winning throw. The issue I have with people who sort of rotate around and keep coming is that they're typically not dropping out of the back, or they're not finishing forward enough. They're sort of bailing and rotating out earlier than they probably should be. I like the reverse typically to be middle to middle right of the board. Okay. Dude, he's probably the best glider ever. I don't really like it over here just for high school kids. Okay. I'm not saying he's got bad technique. I'm saying he's the GOAT, but at least with the glide, the big things: drop patiently, shoulders back. Okay. Left foot stays lower than the knee. Be on the flat foot as long as possible on the right. Low, fast right here while the shoulders stay under control. Look at his left shoulder. Look at his right foot. Boom. Boom. Left shoulder's not doing anything. Boom. Boom. Then it's a trigger. Boom. Yeah. Okay, so those are the two throws. Now let's do one more here. We're going to compare these, and we're just going to look at them real quick. Okay, I'm going to move this guy over. This guy being Timmermann. We're just going to go place by place right here. So let's go start. They both typically start up a little bit here, and then you see him drop. Right here, he drops. Right here, you drop. Look at the left shoulder. Shoulders level. Look at the left knee. Left knee. Okay, now Brenner brings his foot closer than Timmermann does. Timmermann's more so just the knee. Okay, let's go to that last part of extension off of the right. Actually, I want to go to the flat foot. So when they come off the flat foot right here, left shoulder's back, fully extended. Fully extended, left foot's lower. Fully extended, left foot's lower. His left arm comes forward a little bit. Now, middle, grounding. Okay, now we got a little bit longer and back more. Left foot comes down. I can't really tell entirely with Brenner where his direction is. Timmermann, you can see a little bit easier. Timmermann stays up on the ball of his foot the whole time. You can see here Brenner gets flat-footed. And then he shifts with his right knee. So you can definitely see a little bit of a difference there right here compared to here where the heel is staying up. Boom. Okay. Boom. I think the interesting part about this throw is it's like, if we see these guys and we know we got to get forward, a glide reverse is proving out that everything is moving forward as well as possible. If you're sort of dumping the shoulder or missing that glide reverse, it's probably just a bit too rotational, and you're probably, you're throwing discus or something like that, which is going to have a more rotational impact on the technique. I think it's interesting to see these two guys though, and in my opinion, both have great technique. I think it goes back to the positions out of the back. Shoulders level, drop. I think you should drop more forward on the dominant foot, and then you let the hips rock, and you wait till the last second to pull the trigger from the left knee while keeping the shoulders back. Another thing, you want to stay flat-footed as long as possible. If you can stay flat-footed as long as possible, that gives you this crazy stretch shortening cycle, which then leads to a fast right foot. We don't want the right foot going up. We want it staying low and fast. We want the left foot staying below the left knee. We still want the shoulders to stay back. And then right when the left leg comes down, that's when the left shoulder starts to open, and we finish forward into that right heel on that glide reverse. I hope this helped you guys. I hope watching these two guys, they're absolute savages. The best gliders, I think, of all time. You put in Warner Gunther, you put in Andre. Dude, I'll be honest, I like watching Ralph Bartels. I like watching Beyer, not as much, but if you look at David Storrell, Majewski, all these guys, Lucas Warning, they're great gliders, and I hope this helps somebody out there who's learning how to exit the back of the circle in the glide. If you guys need help with your training, head over to throwsuniversity.com so that you can drop some bombs. Peace.